Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a fall recipe video for you. I am making several dinners that are definitely fall vibes. I have a sheet pan apples and pork chops with some sweet potatoes and green beans and bacon on the side. I have a really super simple crock pot chicken and gravy meal. This meal is so easy. It doesn't look the most appetizing, but it is so easy. You throw it in the crock pot. It is just an amazing meal. And then I have one of my favorite things, which is a taco soup. You guys, this creamy taco soup, again, super easy, yummy, lots and lots of flavor. And then the last recipe is going to be a chicken noodle soup. I have been craving chicken noodle soup like crazy. And this is another crock pot chicken noodle soup. It's amazing. You guys will love it. Let's get into the video. This first recipe is going to be the sheet pan pork chops and apples. I'm using some of this pork shake and bake. Again, totally optional if you guys don't want to use something like that. I have some bacon, a sweet potato, some green beans, and then I have 2 apples that'll go with the pork chops. Pork chops and apples, you guys, great combination. So I just took the shake and bake. I just wetted the pork chops a little bit. Just shook them in a bag with the shake and bake. I didn't add any oil or anything. Cut up the 2 apples into pretty thin slices. Put them on top of the pork chops because you want that apple flavor to be in there. And then in another sheet pan, I'm going to prep the veggies, which I cut up the sweet potatoes pretty small so they would cook quickly with some bacon, some green beans, added some onion salt on top, and some pepper. The cooking time will be based on how big your veggies are and how big your pork chops are. I cooked mine. My veggies were in for about 20 minutes. My pork chops took about 25. They were a little bit thicker, but look at this. Look at this. I ate this, I'm not even kidding, 3 days in a row. I loved the combination of the pork chops and apples together. It was out of this world. This is just a wonderful fall recipe, and it's easy. I made this after I got off work one day. All of my recipes are based on getting done after I get home from work, so I do work outside the home. So usually it has to be something that's on the table within an hour of me getting home from work. This next recipe is a chicken and gravy in the crock pot. You need some chicken, so I have 2 packages of chicken tenderloins here. You need a can of cream of chicken soup. I'm using the healthy request type one. It's less sodium. 2 packages of chicken flavored gravy, and you need 2 cups of water. Now, yes, this does not have the best ingredients, but you guys, it is delicious, and just check it out. There are recipes out there for homemade cream of mushroom, cream of chicken soup. I've actually made them before. I just don't know if I've ever did a video on it. I will see if I can find one in my recipe videos and see if I have one for my homemade cream of chicken and cream of mushroom, but I just didn't have the time to do that. You guys, this is all about what we can get done after we get off work, something easy. So, but I will see what I can find. For now, I'm only adding pepper to my chicken. I'm not adding any salt because we do have salt in the cream soup and salt in the packets of chicken gravy. So in a bowl here, I'm just again adding some pepper. This is the cream of chicken soup and the 2 packages of the chicken gravy and the water. So you want to mix all that up together, and then you're just going to pour it on top of your chicken. So just make sure that's all mixed up all together. I thought I did a clip of showing me putting all those into a bowl, but I guess not. Anyway, so you're putting everything here on top. You're going to put this in your crock pot on low for 3 to 4 hours, and y'all, this chicken comes out so tender. Look at this. This, again, was an amazing recipe. You can serve it over rice, over mashed potatoes. I personally served it over mashed cauliflower. I actually will find my mashed cauliflower recipe. I think it was within another video, but I will find that video where I show how I make my mashed cauliflower. But that's what I have this over. You could do toast. You could do it over biscuits. You could do it over anything. But even though this was easy, it is one of the perfect recipes. Next up, we're making my taco soup. So I'm using ground turkey. You can use whatever kind of meat you want. You can use ground beef, ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever you'd like to make. You also need some taco seasoning. You can use your homemade taco seasoning, which you guys know I normally use my homemade taco seasoning, but I have yet to make any more. I have got to do that. So you want to put I have 2 pounds of ground turkey in here. I'm putting 1 package of the taco seasoning. Here's the taco seasoning I was talking about that I make, but as you can see, I am out. So you want to go ahead and just put 1 of those packages of taco seasoning. You're going to have 2 packages total by the time we're done. And we're just going to crunch up our meat there. And like I said, I'm using 2 pounds, but you can use whatever you want for your meat, or you can do no meat also if you don't eat meat. So you want to cook that all up till it's nice and cooked through. Then we're going to add in 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. It doesn't have to be fire roasted tomatoes. I prefer fire roasted tomatoes in taco soups because it just adds a lot more flavor. We're going to do a can of Rotel tomatoes, which are a little bit spicy because I get the original kind. But if you don't like spicy, they do have a mild Rotel that I highly suggest. Now I have a can of corn, a can of black beans, and a can of pinto beans that I did drain and rinse really well to get all the extra, you know, stuff off of there, the sodium and all that. We're also going to add in some of this pepper blend. So it's 3 pepper and onion blend. It's already frozen, already chopped up. Great hack for making this after you get off work. Although I did make this on a weekend because I do like to let it kind of simmer a little bit. And then we're doing another package of taco seasoning and a package of ranch dip mix. Now, I also make my own ranch seasoning, but again, I did not have any because I have been using it for dips and stuff like that and in recipes. So anyway, you can make your own. I will link my video down below for my DIY spices where I show you how I make my homemade ranch and my homemade taco seasoning. And now you want to go ahead and just mix this all around. I wish I had a bigger pot, but this is the biggest pot I have. And then we're going to add in some chicken broth. This is my absolute favorite chicken broth, is the Organic Imagine. It has the most flavor in it. It is so dark and rich. Their vegetable is out of this world, by the way. Sometimes I do use the vegetable broth in this because it just has a ton of flavor, but love this broth. You can use bone broth in this as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stir it around and just kind of decide how much I end up putting in. I end up putting in the entire carton of this broth. So we're just going to stir that up and we're going to bring it to a boil and let it simmer. And like I said, I do like this one to kind of let to simmer quite a bit just to get all those flavors all incorporated really well before I add in the last few ingredients. After you have let it simmer and cook for probably about 20-30 minutes or so, you're going to add in the rest of the ingredients. So I have a package of the third less fat cream cheese. If you can find fat-free cream cheese, it does bring the calories down quite a bit, or you can use full fat, it doesn't matter, but make sure it's softened. That's the part you want to do. So while I was cooking everything, I had brought the cream cheese out when I was letting it simmer, so it sat out for about 30 minutes or so, and then it just kind of mixes up better in the soup. And then we're going to add in a whole container of Chobani, or anything you want, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, but you want to do a container of that. As you can see kind of in the background, I'm making my husband's grilled cheese because that's what he wanted for dinner. Anyway, so I'm adding in that whole container of plain non-fat Greek yogurt into here. And then what you want to do is you want to just keep stirring because you want all those lumps to get out. So I just suggest you just keep stirring and stirring and stirring until there are no more lumps. And if that cream cheese is softened, it does not take that long to melt completely. And then this is what it looks like once you have it all melted. Oh, looks like I'm still getting it. I just kind of push it against the side just to kind of break up the cheese a little bit. And then once you get to this point, I like to also still let it simmer for a little bit to kind of make sure all those cheese flavors and yogurt flavor gets all incorporated really well. So probably about another 15 minutes or so. And this is the final product. And I found these silicone soup like things you put in the freezer. When I was buying my silicone muffin cups, this popped up in my Amazon, recommended thing. So I picked these up. I just got one. They had 2 packs, but I wanted to try it out first to see if it was worth anything. So it holds 4 1-cup servings of your soup, and you just put them in there. It has a lid that you can put on, and then you just toss it in the freezer. And then when they're frozen, you can just pop out one little, serving, and you just throw it in a bowl and whatever you want to do. I'm going to try this out. I'll let you guys know what I think. So here's my serving of soup. I'm serving it with some of these bite-sized tortilla chips. You guys, definitely check out this recipe. I will have the original recipe linked down below for this. And the final recipe in this fall video is going to be a chicken noodle soup. So I have some chicken breast, some chicken broth, some thyme, rosemary. We have some onions, some celery, and some carrots, and some salt and pepper. Super simple, lots of flavor. In your crock pot, you want to put your chicken, you want to add on all your veggies, and then put your herbs on top because we're going to pull these out after they're done cooking. So I have just everything in here, my chicken, my carrots, celery, onions, and my herbs. And then we're just going to pour on the chicken stock. Oh, I forgot to show you guys my noodles too. I'll show you those here in a second. But I'm going to put in 2 containers of chicken stock. Actually, I think I used about 1.5. It just really depends on how much chicken you have, which I'll tell you guys right now, side note, I used way too much chicken in this recipe. I would only suggest 1 of those packages if you're using the Costco ones. Only 1 of those because I used way too much chicken in this, but it still turned out amazing. Now, since I was starting this at my lunchtime, I went ahead and put it on high and I cooked it for 4 hours before I added the noodles. So it's just really up to you how long you need to cook yours for. If you're starting it first thing in the morning, I would say do it on low for about 8 hours. So once your time is up, you want to go ahead and remove those herbs. Since I just put them in there like on the stems, you want to definitely remove that. You can also add a bay leaf. I forgot to add the bay leaf. I'm just not used to using that very often. So you want to pull the chicken out and then you want to shred the chicken up. Again, I used way too much chicken. Look at all this. I probably shouldn't have put it all back in there. I should have just put this in the freezer and saved some of it, but I digress. Anyway, so here you go. You put the chicken back in, and then you want to add in your noodles. So I personally am using these noodles from Fiber Gourmet. These are the light linguine. I get these off of Nutrition.com. You can get them on Amazon, but they're much cheaper on Nutrition, and they have fast shipping. So you want to put your noodles in there and then cook it for about another 30 minutes in your slow cooker, and then it comes out like this. Look at this, you guys. So good. So here's what my serving looked like. Again, I had a lot of chicken, but this had so much flavor with those herbs. Oh, highly recommend. I will have the original recipe linked down below. Thank you guys so much, as usual, for taking time out of your day to watch my video. Check out the description box for links, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.